This is how the question goes. So how can you find f of 6? Where is the function f? The function f is just here. This is the function of f. Means that where there is x, you put 6. This is what it means. So you're going to have f of 6 is equal to, where there is x in there, you put a 6. So 5 times 6 over 6 minus 1. What are you going to get? You're going to get a 30 over 5. What is the answer there? F of 6 is equal to 6. The answer you get is also a 6. So that is our answer. When you divide here, this is the answer that you are going to get. So I want you to get this and understand this clearly, even as we conclude this together. So we'll revise through some questions together. So it is the exercise that I'm going to give you that will tell me if you are able to answer such questions or not. But this topic is very simple. So we've reached to the end of this topic. It's now you to prove to me that you've understood this topic. Next week we are supposed to start another new topic. So let's get to prove this in the exercise that I'm going to give you, that for sure you've understood this. Let's move to the other question. We move to the other question. The other question was telling us to find f inverse of x. This was the other question. So in this question, what are you taught? You are taught to find, this is called the inverse function. This is called the inverse function. So they're just telling you something about the inverse function. Okay, are you able to find the inverse function? We covered this, and we've been doing this for quite some days now. No one can fail to work out this. You write the function f of x is equal to 5x over x minus 1. I said that f of x, always f of x is equal to y. So f of x is equal to y. You put a y there. So after you do this, the next thing that you are going to do, here you put y, because we've said f of x is equal to y. So y is equal to 5x over what? Over x minus 1. You've got a fraction here. What do you do to cancel this fraction? You put a 1 here, then you cross multiply like that. So you're going to have y, open bracket, x minus 1 is equal to 5x. This is what you are going to form after you cross multiply. Get this clearly. I want you to understand this even as we get to break down this. After expanding, there is no fraction that is existing at this point. So what you are going to do is that you make x the subject of the formula. If you look at this equation, the way it is, x is appearing how many times? 2 times. Meaning that at some point you are going to factorize so that you just remain with 1x in the equation. So what is y times x? It is xy minus, someone can ask me, why didn't you start with y? Because we've started with a y when multiplying. When writing the final answer, we follow the way they are arranged in the alphabetical order. Same applies with y times 2. You can't say it is y2. You always start with a number, then later. So you say 2y. Y times negative 1, that's negative y. You can't say negative 1y, which is equal to 5x. You know what you're doing. What are you doing? You're making x the subject of the formula. So if you're making x the subject of the formula, what are you supposed to do? This 5 comes this side. So you've got x, y, like that, x, y, that is your x, y. So we've got x, y. This is positive. When it comes this side, it becomes negative 5x, which is equal to, have you seen this one? This is negative y. So when it goes that side, it becomes positive y. So these two are grouped together like this. You can now factorize them. Your main aim is to find x, make x the subject to the formula. So what is common there? It is x. So what will remain is y minus 5, which is equal to y, which is there. When you do this, you divide by what you don't want. So have you seen this step here? You factorize. So what I've done here is that I've factorized. So you factorize. You say over now, y minus 5 over y minus 5. These two are going to cancel out. You're going to remain with x, which is here. You're going to say x is equal to y over y minus 5. As simple as that. When you reach here, this is the end of the matter now. You found the inverse function of f. So what do you do now? You just conclude and say, therefore, f inverse of x is equal to what? Where there is y now, you put x, since you've said f inverse of x. So you say x over x minus 5. This is your answer. This is how we work out these questions. The same way I've answered this is the same way you are supposed to answer them. So I want you to follow me properly and very well, even as I'm explaining this. So I've explained this, and I'm going to know if you people have understood in the exercise that I'm going to give you. So make sure we follow time, we answer this on time. So the other one was under composite functions. So these, we've covered all these things. We are just revising through. We did the introduction on the composite functions. We did inverse functions. So I'm just revising with you using exam questions. So where we've reached now, you are able to answer questions from the exam. So after this, what I'm going to do is that today I'm going to give you much work. So I'll take my time marking the work that I'm going to give you. I want to make sure that everyone gets to practice this. So what I'm going to do is that on Monday, when we resume, we are going to revise through different past paper questions under functions. So tonight I'm going to give you a lot of work to do. I'll give you about past papers with functions from about 8 different years. So past paper questions, about 8 of them. So on Monday, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to answer all those questions. I'll take my time explaining them so that you understand. But today, you need to try those questions. So I'll give you these questions. You answer them, you submit them. So it's more like an assignment that is supposed to be submitted now. It's an exercise. So you answer those. I see if we've understood. So one thing that I've observed from most of you is that you've got the spirit of giving up. Once a question is hard, you don't know anything about that question, you easily give up. That's the spirit you should resist. You need to cancel that spirit. Make sure that if you don't know anything, you've learned about functions. Apply the knowledge that you know, the little knowledge that you know, apply it. You may discover that you are doing the correct thing by the end of the day. So let's make sure that we don't give up easily. I gave this question on how to find the inverse function with the involvement of factorization. Someone said to me, I cannot answer this. Let's make sure that we try to answer questions. So you learning this, you should not only be able to answer these questions, that you need a question like this one in an exam. No, a question will come in a different way. It can come in this way. It can also come in another way. So let's make sure that we know how to answer both ways. things we've known and things we don't know. So all that data that you know, put it together to answer a new question that you're going to see. So the assignment that I'm going to give you tonight, I want to see if we've understood this. On Monday, I'm going to revise through the same exercise that I'll give today, but I want to make sure that I see the people that have understood this topic. So I'll take it as a test, but not really as a test. But I want to see if we've understood this. So I'll mark it as a test. This is what I will do. I'll mark it as a test. I will even give some percentage to rate your understanding on this topic. So if you get a 50%, you know that you need to put in much effort. Since that's one topic, you are getting 50%. You need to make sure that you get more than 80%. So the marks that you are going to get will rate you with the knowledge that you've gathered so far on this topic. So let's make sure that we do better. We make sure that we do better on this one. I want to help you get a distinction in mathematics. So just make sure you follow what I'm doing. If it seems as if I'm punishing you, it's not punishment. I know by the end of the day, you're going to appreciate. So when I give you something, I give you little time. I know why I'm doing that. I'm testing your mind, and I want to make sure that you are sharp and fast in thinking. So when I give you something, I know that it is little time, like I give you something to answer in 15 minutes. I know that that's little, but I'm training you and testing you to be thinking very fast. So we proceed to the other question. The other question was under composite functions. It was like this. Whenever you see two functions, these are called composite. We call them as what? Composite functions. These are called composite functions. What are composite functions? This is where you are told to combine two functions. You are given two functions and you are told to combine them. So you combine them. So how do you work out such? You start with a function which is given. So what is given in this case? The first function given is f. So you are going to start with f. So you say f of x is equal to 5 over 5x over x minus 1. This is what you are going to do. Follow me properly. Then they've also put another function which is g. Fg of x is equal to. They've put another function g. Where is g? G is this one. But are we supposed to write this one? No. When I say what is g? G is x plus 3. So you just get the x plus 3. So when I say where there is x, you put the function g. What I'm telling you is that put x plus 3, not you put g f of x, you put everything. No, just put x plus 3. This is what you're going to do. Where there is x, where you're just able to see x, just put x plus 3. So there is 5 there. So you write your 5 there. Then you say open bracket x plus 3. You do this. Here, x here, we've got x here. So where there is x, put x plus 3. Then there is minus 1 there. You just do this. So when you evaluate that part, what answer are you going to get when we evaluate that? What answer are we getting? So that is fg of x is equal to 5 times x, that's 5x, plus 5 times 3, that's 15, over x. 3 minus 1, that's 2. So it's plus what? Plus 2. Can you divide these two? You can't. You can't divide these two. So meaning this is your answer. This is how you need to work out that question. So these are things that you need to know. Like this, you are done. Nothing like you start doing this. No, you can't do that. Avoid what you don't know. This is what I'm going to tell you. If you don't know about something that you want to do, don't do it. So if you want to start cancelling, if you are not sure of if you are not sure of what you are doing, don't even try it. because you make mistakes, more especially on this part. Unless I give you a question, you can try where you don't know. But if you've done this, then on the last part you make a mistake. No, don't do that. If you don't know that these two are supposed to be cancelled, just leave them. It's more like I give you a number. 2, this is a mistake which I've seen from most of you. 6 over 12. What is the answer? Someone will give me that the answer is 2. Have you seen mistake? The way we get to make mistake. 6 over 12. Someone will give me the answer 2. This is long application of knowledge. The person says, here I said 6 there, it is 1. 6 in 12, it is 2. Have you seen? There is a 1 on top, then a 2 down. So the answer is 1 over 2. Not just 2. So these are simple mistakes that we get to make. So avoid what you don't know. This is the reason why we get to make simple mistakes. So these simple things that we may term as if they are simple, we term them as if they are like you just need to do them. These are the same things that get to affect us. So let's make sure that we deal with these simple mistakes. They should not grow. So let's deal them now. We temper with them now. Even as we get to advance, we are yet to do topics here that will require your involvement, your full involvement. So these are the basics that we are doing. This is paper 1. Paper 1 is very simple. It's just that it carries a lot of topics. That's the reason why I want you to get used to these questions. You answer them, we answer them. When we start doing paper 2, graphs, you are supposed to answer 4 questions. And you need to answer those 4 questions. You've started at the right time. So we need to make sure that we get mathematics is a simple subject and no one is going to fail in this group. No one is going to fail. As long as you follow what I tell you, you won't fail. Just follow what I say. The key word to take is follow what I tell you. So keep this word. Anything I tell you, it is not as if maybe I'm punishing you, I'm being unfair. No. Just follow what I tell you. Okay, so what we do, the last thing that I want us to do, there was a question, the last question, let me just answer the last question. It was saying find x. The question was telling you to find x. So find x if f of x is equal to 0. The question was like that. Find x if f of x is equal to 0. How can you answer this question? You write f of x. F of x is equal to what? F of x is equal to 5x over x minus 1. They are telling you that f of x is 0. So this whole part is 0 is equal to 5x over x minus 1. Like this. If you cross multiply here, 0 times everything there, that is 0. 5x times 1, 5x is equal to 0. It's 0 open bracket x minus 1. But 0 multiplied by anything, you just get a 0. So this whole part is 0. You divide both sides by 5. You also divide both sides by 5. What answer you getting? This cancelled. So x is equal to 0 divided by 5. It is 0. That is your answer. So these are the answers we need to get. So let's make sure that we practice through all these. We understand them clearly. So before I give you what to do, I could like us to revise through this. I want us to answer this. What if you are given something that is like this? They are telling you that f of x is equal to 4 over x minus 2. Then they're saying find f inverse of 4. This is the question they are telling you. How can you answer such a question? So, have you seen the inverse part there? Don't go direct. Find the inverse. After you find the inverse, then where there is x, That's where we're going to put a 4. After finding the inverse, so the first thing is for us to find the inverse. So you say f of x is equal to, f of x is equal to 4 over x minus 2. This part you say y is equal to 4 over x minus 2. Over 1, you cross multiply. So you're going to have y, open bracket, x minus 2 is equal to 4. You do this. This is what you need to do. Then you say y times x, that is xy, minus 2y, which is equal to 4. Your concentration should not be on the y. Your concentration should be on the x, because you are making x the subject of the formula. So what you need to do here, you are making x. So this part goes that side. So xy is equal to 4. When this one comes this side, it becomes positive 2y. Have you seen? Some people start factorizing. No, your concentration should be on the x. Make x the subject of the formula. Divide y. This and that cancel out. So what you are going to have, this is what you are going to have. So what you are going to have will be x is equal to 4 plus 2y over y. Just conclude. Therefore, f inverse of x is equal to, so f inverse of x is equal to, what do you do? So f inverse of x is equal to 4 plus 2x. So do you put x over x? This is the answer. Then where there is x there, they said you put a 4. Have you seen? After finding, so we've found the inverse part. So we found the inverse part. So what I'm going to do is this. This is what I'm going to do. I found the inverse part. So you say f inverse of x is equal to 4 plus 2x over x. This is the inverse part that I've found. This is the part that I found. Then where there is x here, I put a what? A 4. So I say f inverse of 4 is equal to 4 plus 2 times 4 over 4. Then I say this is now equal to, what is the answer here? 8. 8 plus 4, 12 over 4. So the final answer that I'm going to get will be f inverse of 4 is equal to what? 3. When you divide to get a 3. This is your what? This is your answer. This is how you need to answer it. So let's see how we are going to answer the exercise that I'm going to give. I see how many people are going to practice the work that I'm going to give out.